Good evening. How is everybody out there? And I'm actually surprised that I'm coming in better than I thought. Every angle I tried with, I'm just on the iPhone. Every angle I tried on this phone down here in the basement, lighting was coming up pretty cruddy, but this is actually about as best we can hope for. So, anyway, if you have a glass on you, raise it. We've made it another week. Cheers! So, I'm back here for our quarantine-friendly toast. I don't know, 60, 70, some odd editions, we don't know. And we're doing our Learning About Beer series. I hope you enjoyed learning about cider and darker lagers the last couple of weeks. And we're going to partially revisit something that we did on the first toast. By the way, another chip toast. Monica is joining in. Hey, cheers! You made it. We're going to partially revisit that first. We're going to dive actually more into Belgian ales again. I'm not going to go too far into the wit beer because that's what we had the last time. I had Allagash a lot of time. But tonight, I am drinking from Black Pug Brewery here in Brunswick. It's known as their Acromis. I hope I'm pronouncing it just right, and it's described as a Belgian white spiced with Curaçao, orange peel, coriander, and chamomile. I guess that's something that's normally found in tea. And medium body, copious amounts of raw wheat, fluffy is being one of the adjectives they give it. And it's marketed as the perfect summer refresher. So cheers. Oh, hi Sherry, how you doing? So again, I last couple weeks ago I talked about how Belgian whites were one of the ales that you can kind of ease into. Belgians in general are pretty good. There's a lot of sweet and spicy. When I say spicy, I don't mean like hot, like you're eating a taco and you put a hot sauce on it, or a hot wing spicy. I mean, lots of flavor to it. Oh my goodness. Wow, there's a lot of people in. Must be a rainy day. Cheers, by the way. We made another week. They can be very mellow, or they can actually get a little bit funky. And they range from low alcohol beers to you can see some crazy 10, 15, not so often, but 10. You can even see 10 plus alcohol per volume beers with Belgians, and you can see very mild ones. So they're all over the place. The kind of unifying thing between a lot of the Belgians, they're not very hoppy, but they make up for it with lots and lots of spices. So again, if you're trying to expand your palate, try some new things, but not necessarily into the hoppy. Belgians are the way to go. So, or one of the things you can do. We talked about some of the others. So we're going to talk a little bit. I'm going to introduce a couple other ones. And actually, I have to finish this first one before I can move on. But if you want beer with a history, Belgian ales are the way to go. Because they were making this stuff even before the First Crusade. People drank beer more often because, back then water wasn't that good. They had things called plagues. I don't know if we've ever had a plague. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We've never seen what that's like. Unfortunately, we're getting a little bit of a recap of what some of those things. Hopefully not so bad, but... there's a couple different types of... Oh my God, Rick Denico. There's all kinds of people popping in. Cheers. Trappist beers are beers that are brewed in monasteries by monks, and they have to meet a lot of different qualifications. There's only like 10 in the world, 6 in Belgium. There's one in the U.S. I didn't see where it was. And then you might hear about abbey ales, which are beers brewed in the same style, but aren't necessarily, meet all those qualifications. And a couple weeks ago, I mentioned the German purity law, the Bavarian purity law for that kind of beer. Again, there's a whole set of rules for Trappist. I sort of gravitate to the beers that have strict rules. I don't know why. Maybe I'm making up for something. I don't know. Maybe I feel bad or guilty or something. But no, all kinds of range. I'm going to finish this so I can open the next one. Cheers, by the way. So, a nice kind of introduction to Belgian beer that you might want to try, that you don't necessarily have to go far for, because you see these in most liquor stores, and they even sell them in Hannaford as Leffy. This is a beer that is brewed in the Abbey de Leffy, is the that's the name of it, but it's actually brewed over there. The brewery has been around since 1240. It closed as a result of the French Revolution. So boo to Napoleon, and you're trying to bring champagne across Europe and shutting down the breweries. But they did bring it back in 1929. And this is a Belgian blonde. So it's a little darker than the wit beers we were talking about. Has a very, by the way, cheers again. Fruity, spicy. I mean, it's a very sweet beer, and you can almost taste a little bit of it's almost like somebody poured a little bit of juice in there. Very nice and sweet. Again, not, really no hops to it. Just a very nice way to expand your palate. So I'll drink this for a little bit, but there's some other beers Belgium's famous for. One is Saison. And if you don't know where to start with Belgians, just maybe go to the Allagash Brewery someday, because that's their thing. And they run the gamut from, obviously Allagash White, which is their wit beer, all the way up to doubles and triples. But, I mean, look at the color of that. Obviously, it's not your Bud Light. But they make a pretty good Saison. And I don't actually have a Saison. I only had a limited budget, and there's only so much beer I can drink in a toast here. And also called the Farmhouse Ale. It's a style of a beer originating in the French-speaking Wallonia region of Belgium. Saison means season, which is very appropriate because they brewed it mostly in the winter. What would happen is they'd be busy farming in the summer, and they'd be hanging around in the winter with not much to do, so they brewed beer. All for that. They're typically dry and highly carbonated and moderate in alcohol. Moderate for them, 6 to 8 alcohol ratio. So, no, it's not. This isn't technically a Saison. It's more of it's getting close to a double. I'm going to show you a real double in a moment. Leffy has good variety. You'll mostly find the blonde, but once in a while, you'll run into a liquor store. They have the brown. The brown they have as well. And they have a whole line that, obviously, probably you have to go to Europe to get. But, where's the next damn beer? Oh, here's the damn beer. This beer's name is literally The Damned en français. This comes out of Montreal, the Montreal area, Chambly, Quebec. The Unibrew company up there makes some really crazy, really nice Belgian ales, whole series. They even did a beer. Yeah, look at it. You get the cork here, going all fancy. Oh, Scott Chase, how you doing? Even a cork. And this beer has 8% alcohol. And here's my thing about the high alcohol beers. I don't drink the 8 or 9% alcohol beers because I'm trying to get more alcohol into me. If you notice the way I drink it, I'll drink it a little slower. And so instead of, drinking 1 or 2 full-size beers in an hour, I might drink a portion of a beer, some of these doppels and triples. And the key is you don't drink it the same way. A Coors Light or a Budweiser, you swig and you send the beer to basically back to the back of your throat, because it does have nice flavor. You can argue it does, And it is refreshing, but it's a refreshing in a different way. You don't savor it like you do this. Like you're almost like you're sipping a hard liquor or a wine, the way you drink some of the heavy alcohol beers. So you're not drinking the same volume. The way you drink it's a lot very, very different. But I was kind of attracted. This is the first kind of fancy Belgian. I'll turn it back on so you can look closer at the label. This is the first. It's hard to see in the light, but this is. See if I can get it in good lighting here. First Belgian that I ever tried. I tried it in Quebec City back when I was in college. Maybe it comes up better this way. It's backwards, by the way, but because of selfie mode. Some friends and I were up in Quebec City, and we saw a little placard on the table telling the story. If you can't see, there's actually a canoe flying through the sky and the devil. And the canoe refers to the Chasse de Galerie, which is a Quebec legend basically about you had these frontiersmen long ago, and they were out chopping wood in the woods, and they wanted to get home for a party, and because they missed their home, they missed their ladies, and they wanted to get back and, have some beer, have a good time, and they were very sad. So they made a pact with the devil to make their canoe fly. So it kind of links into that's a Quebec legend along with the Loup Garou, and sometimes the legends overcross. Kind of a neat folklore thing going on. But it has 8% alcohol. My actually favorite beer from these guys is called Le Fin du Monde, which is French for the end of the world. That actually has a 9%. But it's even, it's even smoother. I would say a little sweet. I enjoy the taste a little bit more, but this is pretty good. They just didn't have any Le Fin du Monde at Bootleggers today, but they did have Maudit, and I can't complain. Very rich, very nice taste. The Belgian double, the colors in the Belgian doubles can range from the blonde to brown, and but it basically means the double means a higher alcohol content. You're probably dealing with 7 or 8% alcohol. They can get up to triples. Triples have like 9-ish. Luckily, doubles and triples aren't necessarily proportional, but triples have more. And then quads. The company that makes this also makes a beer called Terrible. And the first time I drank it, I thought it was terrible, but I was trying to drink it a lot like you would drink. I was trying to swig it, which was not good. If you learn to savor it like you do some of these other beers, if you kind of train yourself a little bit, it's actually a very pleasant beer. This one, I'm going to put a little bit of a cork in it because I'm not going to drink it all at once because that would kick your tail. I'm probably going to pretty much finish the Leffy. That'll be my night. But no, again, I you can tell I'm really biased. Belgians are among my favorite beers. Not necessarily my favorite beer category per se. I'd probably I'd that and the German stuff. But there's also a lot of beers not in those categories I like, but they're very spicy. Again, they have a lot of flavor to them, but they don't kick your tail with hops. I know other people really like hops and they go for the IPA. But a good way to expand your palate, taste some interesting tastes. And again, if you learn to savor it, you don't have, the goal of it's not to drink a ton. The goal is to have something that you can taste, get some flavors on your palate, and enjoy yourself. None of these are super expensive. A bottle of this is like $7, but you could stretch it out over a couple nights. I think a 6-pack of this is like $10. So this is actually a little bit cheaper than some of the Allagash products where you'd get like a 4-pack for $10. And these guys, I think $10 to $12 will fill up a fancy growler if you already have the bottle. This brewery, I've only had their saison and their wit beer, so I haven't trusted their other stuff. But they're 2 for 2 so far. Both of the beers back there. It's on Bath Road in Brunswick. Very nice. So, hoping that you join me with a toast. And I hope you're safe this Saturday evening. Having a decent time. And, if you have the means, get out and try some beers. So, cheers!